Hello everybody, Jonathan here with Bridge City Tai Chi Club, and today we're going to go over a few common errors in Tai Chi form. So let's get started. I think the first one is, they're not in any specific order, but one of the most common errors is thinking of the form as precise choreography. So you see this a lot, especially in the competition routines. Say, let's use single whip for instance. This precise choreography, this hook hand has to be here first, the palm turns towards you, then everything is precise and almost gets stiff. It looks pretty, and you can make it flowy, but the form is not precision choreography. The form is a tool to implement the principles. So if you're doing grass sparrow's tail for it, as an example, here, and you need to come here to be very precise, and here to be very precise, here. It still can be smooth looking, but you're using the form and thinking of it as choreography. Don't think of it as choreography. And I'm not talking about overthinking it. That's very common as a beginner when you're learning the form. Of course you're going to overthink it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you already know the form and you start thinking it and correcting yourself by saying, oh, I did that wrong because my hand was in this position instead of this position. That's not what the form is for. The form is to be a tool to allow you to adhere to principles. So if you're doing grasp the bird's tail, for instance, when you come up, you don't have to be specifically like this. As long as you adhere to the form, you don't have to be in a perfect hold the ball position. As long as you're adhering to the principles, you can do roll back down, you can do roll back sideways. So don't think of the form as a strict, specific, choreographic, like dance. It's not that. It's for you to feel the principles, and if your hand happens to go out a little bit before you, as long as you're feeling it through and you're adhering to the principles, it doesn't matter if the moves don't look the same from the outside every single time. So, I mean, you even see that in between styles, right? I mean, Chen style doesn't look anything like Yang style, but they're both proper Tai Chi. So, Grandmaster Feng Juchan's Chen style doesn't look anything like Grandmaster Chen Zhaowang's, but they're both proper Tai Chi. So don't think of the form as, that's the common error. The form is strict choreography. The second is a misunderstanding in the coordination of the lower and upper body. This happens a lot, I think, with competition routine people who have to be very precise in their movements because they're being judged. It doesn't happen so much with traditionalists, but what I mean by that is often people think of the coordination of the lower and upper body as moving together. Again, single whip. So here, you'll oftentimes see this. The hook hand comes down. If you do it this way, the hand rotates, and then the elbow and knee kind of stay in alignment as you're stepping, and you finish it off. You see that a lot, and people think that that's the coordination of the upper and lower body, that they're moving together. Same thing in brush, knee, and push. Here, you're moving together. This is cloud hands is another one. Here, moving together. This is a very common error. You see this a lot. And the reason that it's an error is because a couple of different reasons. You're dissipating your jin, you're dissipating your power because you need to root yourself in your lower body before you move your upper body. And you're also not applying the principles of yin and yang, the principles of complementary opposites. And what I mean by that is, the next one is following the center, but to understand this one, what I mean by not following complementary opposites is when you step, part of your upper body is going in one direction while your step is taking place. So there's this opposite happening here, and then you ground yourself and move into position so that the power can flow into your waist, up your spine, and out your hand, out your arm. Same is true with cloud hands. When you do cloud hands, when you make your step, your arms are going that way as your step's going that way. So when you make this step, your arms are already starting to come back, and your arms are still going that way. Brush knee and push step, the same thing. Here, your arms are reaching out as you make the step, so opposite directions. If you do it very precise and keep your hands together, your arm and leg together, I mean, you're not using yin and yang. You're not using the opposites with each other. Complementary opposites, using them in conjunction with each other in order to produce a specific effect, and in this case, power or force or jin. And then the third common mistake is not letting your center or your dantian guide all of your movements. And that especially happens in the lower body. It takes a lot of practice to understand how the dantian actually guides the foot out. Think of, this is the way I like to think of it, is that the dantian as a sphere, three-dimensional sphere sitting in your pelvic girdle, and then your spine and your arms as stick figures, and your legs as stick figures connected to that sphere. And then when that sphere rotates either this way to step or this way to move the upper arms, or remember it's a sphere, it can go in any direction, so it can go diagonally upward too, or straight upward. So it's this rotation, subtle rotation of the ball inside that actually guides your foot out. So you can practice it just simple stepping drills. Here, think of this as rotating that way. It can rotate that way and push the foot out. Here, rotating that way and bringing the foot in. You can also rotate that way to bring the foot out. So those are the three common errors that I wanted to discuss today. Thinking of the form as very precise choreography and forgetting about the principles, and using the form as a tool to fundamentally get closer and closer and closer to the principles. The misunderstanding of coordinating upper and lower body, so not using the opposites, and then not following the center. Anyway, I hope that was an interesting video for you guys. If you liked it, then like it. Do all the things the algorithms love. subscribe, share, like, leave a comment. If you disagree with me, let's have a discussion about it. But most importantly, keep on training. Jonathan out.